Hello, everyone. I'm excited to share an incredibly moving tale about a man named Seelan. His experience reflects an intense journey, one filled with struggles related to self-identity and the harrowing brush with mortality. This pivotal moment became a catalyst for him, leading to a significant awakening of purpose and a newfound strength in his faith, particularly after facing death itself. You really don't want to miss this one. And before we jump in, where are you all joining from today? If this is your first visit, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more inspiring stories. On that brisk November morning in Asheville, North Carolina, the weather couldn't have been better for a day of running on the trails. The sky was a brilliant blue, and the cool air added a refreshing touch to the atmosphere. But for me, participating in this race meant far more than just hitting the trails. It was about supporting a cause that helps individuals with disabilities. I felt a deep connection to this mission, as if I were part of something truly impactful. As I arrived at the starting line, the crowd amazed me with its diversity. Runners of all generations were gathered there, including many individuals overcoming physical challenges, determined to conquer the demanding path ahead. Witnessing their commitment stirred up a deep admiration within me. I turned to a volunteer nearby, a cheerful woman named Leora. "Isn't this just incredible?" I commented. Her eyes sparkled with pride as she beamed back. "Absolutely. So many of these athletes have encountered great hardships, yet here they are, ready to run." Getting into my warm-up, I noticed a young man with a prosthetic leg quietly adjusting his gear. He radiated calm, as if this was just another day for him. Curious, I decided to strike up a conversation. "Hey there! Is this your first time on this trail?" I asked. He responded with a slight smile. "Yeah, it is. After several surgeries and loads of physical therapy, I thought it was about time to give it a go. I'm Keelan." His resolve really resonated with me, and I placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Just being here makes you a champion. It's truly an honor to share this run with you." Finally, the starting signal blared, and I felt a wave of excitement surge through me. Off we went, fueled by the vibrant energy in the air. It was a November morning, and the atmosphere was alive with anticipation as we set off on the course. At first, everything felt manageable. Runners were scattered along the path, and I found it easy to keep my momentum. But soon, as we pressed forward, the trail began to challenge me in ways I hadn't expected. Steep climbs and jagged rocks appeared, and the chilling air intensified, pushing my endurance to its limits. Although fatigue was creeping in, I held on to the thought that this race meant more than just a personal achievement. With each footfall, the purpose of the journey grew heavier in my mind. As I moved further along the path, I was unaware that this exhilarating start was only the beginning of a transformative experience. The initial thrill began to fade and was replaced by a growing awareness of the obstacles I would face. My legs felt heavier with every step, each meter testing my resolve. Cold air filled my lungs, and I realized my breathing was becoming more labored. Before long, I reached the banks of a wide, icy river that loomed ahead. Crossing it was not optional, it was a necessity. Gulping down my apprehension, I plunged into the freezing water. The shock sent waves through me, a stinging contrast to the chill that wrapped around me like a cloak. Every step forward was a battle against the icy grip, and I could feel my energy slipping away. Finally, I stumbled onto the opposite shore, my legs quaking from the experience, the cold biting deep into my bones. As I tried to regain my rhythm, I felt my vision start to blur, and breath came harder. My mind urged me onwards, yet my body protested, demanding a moment of respite. "Just a bit further," I whispered to myself, clinging to the hope that the end was approaching. Time became a blur, and my legs seemed to move almost on instinct, as if they were pulling me along without my conscious direction. Then, something shifted. The lively sounds of fellow runners faded into an unsettling silence that enveloped me, creating an eerie void. In that moment of stillness, the reality hit hard. My body was nearing its limits. My legs gave way beneath me, and I collapsed onto the damp earth. The ground offered an odd comfort as everything around me began to spin. I felt enveloped by a weakness unlike anything I had experienced before. My breath slowed and darkness crept into my vision, leaving me feeling as though I was on the brink of shutting down. In that silent space, a heavy stillness took hold. It struck me that something important and concerning was unfolding. I had never felt this style of exhaustion before. Lying on the chilly ground, I had no clue that something beyond my imagination was about to happen. As consciousness faded, I found myself in a bizarre, dreamlike suspension. At first, it was an impenetrable sleep, a total blackout of awareness. But then gradually, I began to stir. Opening my eyes was disorienting. There I was, sprawled out on the ground, immobile. My skin looked ghastly pale, my mouth ajar, as if I was on the brink of slipping away. Faces started to gather above me, worry etched across their features, blending panic with urgency. It was odd. I felt hyper-aware, every whisper and rustle cutting through the air with shocking clarity. "Is he breathing?" Someone screamed in fear. "Can anyone call for help? We need it now." Amidst the frenzy, a calmer voice urged everyone to create some space. I felt like I was watching my life unfold from a distance, a spectator in my own drama. I wanted to speak, to move, but it was as if my body had betrayed me. I was merely an observer to the frantic scene. Then I caught the sound of sirens wailing in the distance. Paramedics appeared in a whirlwind, swiftly attending to my lifeless body. I watched as they monitored my vitals and placed an oxygen mask over my face. "His pulse is weak," one of them said, worry creeping into their voice. "We have to get him out of here now." Their urgency only intensified the pull I felt, dragging me away from the chaos. Despite the fear coiling in my stomach, strangely, there was also a soothing calm within me. What was unfolding felt surreal yet distinctly real. I shivered, as if held by an invisible force, propelling me further from my physical existence. In a heartbeat, all the chaos faded away, and I was engulfed by a profound darkness. It wasn't frightening, rather it felt like a gentle void, freeing me from pain, sound, and all physical sensations. It was as if I was floating in a boundless expanse of time. Slowly, I became aware of a presence. No physical form, just an energy that was both powerful and warm, wrapping around me. Though I couldn't see, I sensed that I wasn't alone in this enveloping darkness. On a cool November morning, in the midst of silence, a calm and steady voice came through to me. "Kalen," it said, "you find yourself at a crossroads, standing between different realms. Your journey isn't quite over. Before making your return, there's something important you need to understand." The authority in that voice was unmistakable, yet it carried a wisdom that oddly comforted me. Every word felt significant, urging me to see a purpose that stretched far beyond my individual self. For a brief moment, I thought I was starting to grasp the bigger picture, but just as quickly, the voice continued. "A major revelation is on the horizon. This isn't solely about you. It affects everyone on this planet. Brace yourself, because what's coming will completely alter your view of reality." My heart raced, caught between anxiety and curiosity. Deep down, I realized this moment was crucial, yet wrapping my mind around the future felt daunting. As I drifted in an endless void, an unusual force started to pull me in with increasing strength. I felt like I was spinning into a vortex, swept along by an invisible tide that I couldn't resist. The experience was both thrilling and bewildering. Although I had shed my physical form, the uncertainty of where this path would lead me lingered. Time and space took on a bizarre quality. It was like nothing I had ever encountered before. Suddenly, the darkness began to lift. I found myself in a quiet, shadowy cavern that didn't resemble any cave I had ever seen. It was a weighty, otherworldly space that felt dense yet strangely alive. That's when the voice returned, now closer and more forceful, almost as if it was reaching straight into my mind, touching every part of me. On November 29th, 2024, a crucial moment will emerge. This will signify the beginning of a transformation that will echo throughout humanity. From that point on, the world as you know it will start to change, and those who are prepared for spiritual growth must come together to face challenges that lie beyond the physical. Each word pulsated within me, embedding itself deep in my consciousness. I could feel my curiosity intensifying, and I found myself silently wondering, what will happen on that day? I wasn't sure if my thoughts could be heard. For a brief moment, there was an almost tangible pause, as if the voice was contemplating my question. Then, it replied with a profound resonance that filled my entire being. Imagine a time when everything is about to change. In Asheville, North Carolina, the air promises a new awakening, one that calls for us to harness both our strength and our empathy. This transformation, touching both body and spirit, requires those willing to grow and evolve. I found myself caught in a whirlwind of thoughts. What do these changes really mean? What is approaching for humanity? As I looked for answers, the guiding voice chose to remain vague, but offered a powerful reminder. Your role, Tavian, matters deeply. Your presence here has purpose. Return and share what you learn. Your insights will prepare others for what's coming. Those words landed heavily within me, like an unexpected burden. I felt a mix of fear and confusion about what it all meant, but deeper down, there was a stirring realization that I was destined to help others navigate this new path. Then, a beautiful presence emerged from the darkness, wrapping me in warmth. This radiant light poured into the cave, filling the space with an indescribable sense of peace. It was as if all my anxieties and doubts simply dissolved in its glow. Though the voice had quieted, its message resonated deeply inside me. I recognized that I was on the cusp of significant change. A new quest awaited, and November 29th, 2024 would mark the beginning of something extraordinary. The brightness around me intensified, pulling me into a space where I sensed further truths were about to be uncovered. Suddenly, everything made sense. I was not walking this journey alone. A tremendous force, something greater than myself, was guiding this path and readying me for lessons yet to unfold. With a calm heart, I yielded to the surrounding light, realizing that this journey was only starting. The brightness, unlike anything I had ever described, was a dynamic force that connected to my very essence. In that moment, I experienced a peace I'd never thought possible, feeling a profound sense of clarity and purpose. Surrounded by this completeness, it was as if all my previous pain and turmoil faded away. Merging with this extraordinary environment became my new reality. As I stood there, I could feel a shift within me, like a new layer of my being was starting to take shape. The glow in front of me drew me closer, yet with every step, an unseen force held me back, demanding more strength than I ever imagined I possessed. Still, the pull was strong, almost magnetic. I sensed that this light contained secrets to questions I hadn't even realized I'd been pondering throughout my journey. Slowly, I advanced towards it, and with each movement, a wave of love and peace enveloped me. It was like the universe itself was embracing me, shielding me with warmth and comfort. While I traversed this path, I couldn't help but feel there was guidance accompanying me. This influence was a unique blend of gentleness and potency, unlike anything I had encountered before. As I continued, vivid images danced through my mind, as if the light itself was sharing glimpses of a profound truth. I saw expansive fields laden with smiling faces, a place where fear, pain, and anger simply didn't exist. In this realm, everyone seemed woven together by an unseen bond that was greater than their individual selves. This vision filled me with an overwhelming sense of hope and joy, making me smile as I savored the moment. Soon enough, I became aware of another presence enveloping me. It wasn't a physical form. Instead, it was a powerful aura that felt both inviting and immense, as if I were sharing the space with a wise entity. This energy was filled with an extraordinary peace, and I realized it was a caring force, gently steering me towards deeper understanding. As I drew nearer to the light, that earlier resistance began to fade away, like a warm invitation. The sensation was indescribable. Deep within me, I sensed that I was on the verge of uncovering something vital about existence itself. Then, in a beautiful moment of connection, this presence communicated with me, not through spoken words, but by linking directly to my spirit. It conveyed that this place was the epitome of peace, a sacred haven shared by those who truly seek with love. I had a whirlwind of questions swirling inside me, yet in that moment, it felt like all the answers I needed were nestled within, just waiting for me to remember them. On a crisp November morning in Asheville, North Carolina, I found myself reflecting on the way my thoughts and emotions were surfacing, nudging me toward harmony with everything around me. It's vital to grasp what is genuine, right? That's when insights begin to emerge for those willing to embrace them. I started to think about what it really means to be open to peace and how I could share that positivity with my loved ones. Even though questions swirled in my mind, There was a comforting realization that I didn't need to have all the answers right then. It felt like I was on the verge of something exciting, with so much yet to discover. In that instant, I was surrounded by a profound sense of calm. It felt as if all my past challenges melted away, and the uncertainty of the future no longer felt intimidating. Time seemed irrelevant. I sensed a deep connection with everyone and everything around me. Imagine being part of an immense quilt of love, stitched together with every being. This sense of unity urged me to explore further, to uncover a deeper understanding hidden within the warmth enveloping me. As I moved closer to that radiance, what had initially felt like a vague presence began to clarify. Even amidst the brightness, I could make out a figure that resonated deeply within me. It was a presence unlike any other, Jesus. His energy radiated unmatched love and compassion, wrapping me in a peace that eclipsed any I had experienced before. He welcomed me with a serene, understanding smile, almost aware of every joy and sorrow I carried, every struggle and triumph I had faced. At first, words weren't needed. His very being conveyed a sense of safety and acceptance that felt foreign yet comforting. Then, with a gentle voice filled with profound wisdom, he spoke. "Salen," he began, and just hearing my name from his lips brought a wave of calm over me. "You've accomplished more than you give yourself credit for. Every small act of kindness and those seemingly insignificant moments of reaching out to others are the threads that bind our world together, even when they appear minor." I absorbed his words in silence, each one resonating within me. It dawned on me in that moment that I had never fully explored the impact of my own actions before. Standing there, in his presence, I recognized that those small acts, like a little kindness towards a stranger, carried significance that far exceeded my expectations. Imagine a conversation rich with warmth and understanding, where every exchange feels purposeful. Tavian, too, reflected on his journey, realizing it was never just about physical strength. As he stood there on that crisp November morning, Selen felt something deep stirring within him. It was about more than just a moment. It was a reflection of his character, a reminder of his commitment to facing life's hurdles and extending a hand to others. Each step he took wasn't just a movement, it was an act of love and compassion, weaving him into a larger tapestry that influenced the lives around him. Tears welled up in his eyes as he began to process these thoughts. "But what about my mistakes? What about the times I fell short?" he murmured, his voice almost lost in the air. Leora, with her gentle demeanor, offered a warm smile that enveloped him in understanding. "Tavian, everyone trips up now and then. What matters is how we learn from those experiences and the desire to keep growing. Every choice you make counts. Aim high," she encouraged. Her words resonated deeply, striking a harmonious chord in his heart. Instead of invoking blame or guilt, Leora's message was one of unconditional love. Selen started to understand a vital lesson. Spirituality isn't about perfection. It's about the journey of improvement and the impact of even the smallest acts of kindness. "Each act of kindness sends waves of love into the universe," Leora went on. "When you uplift someone's spirit or help a stranger, you ignite a change that may go unseen but is undeniably significant." In an instant, Selen found himself reflecting on vivid memories flooding his mind like a cinematic reel. He recalled the day he had reached out to assist a man experiencing homelessness, realizing that this simple act had sparked a desire for new beginnings in that man's life. Contrasting that was another memory, one where he had inadvertently hurt someone, a moment that stung yet faded into the background of his awareness. Each recollection was crystal clear, yet Leora's nurturing presence surrounded him with understanding, not judgment. It became evident to him now. Mistakes are not just failures. They carry valuable lessons and chances for growth. Selen recognized that life isn't merely about existing, it's filled with opportunities to share kindness and love. Every person he encountered and every situation he faced was a doorway to leave a positive imprint on the world. Turning his gaze back to Leora, Selen felt a surge of motivation blooming within him, readying him for the path that lay ahead. After that transformative meeting he experienced, everything changed. He returned, eager to embrace kindness in all aspects of his life. On a crisp November morning in Asheville, North Carolina, it hit me just how central genuine love and compassion are to my existence, much more important than I ever realized. Imagine possessing a kind of clarity that turns your life into a movie played back frame by frame. That's what I experienced next. With Jesus by my side, I journeyed through vivid memories that revealed the impact of every choice I'd made, both bright and shadowy, on the people around me. It felt both enlightening and humbling. One particular moment grabbed my attention, a fleeting memory I had almost misplaced. It was an unremarkable day in a bustling public square when I spotted a homeless man. His empty gaze told a profound story of hardships endured. Normally I would have rushed by, wrapped up in my own world, but something urged me to pause and connect. Instead of merely tossing him some spare change, I chose to engage him in conversation. I asked for his name and truly listened to his experiences. In that brief exchange, I noticed a change in his demeanor. A glimmer of hope flickered in his eyes. Jesus later revealed the aftermath of that day to me. What I had shrugged off as a minor act of kindness turned out to plant a seed of hope in him. He began searching for help, landed a few temporary jobs, and eventually found shelter. I was stunned to realize that a simple conversation could spark such significant change. Alongside Jesus, I grasped the remarkable truth that our actions echo through the lives of others, often unnoticed. Looking at me with warmth, Jesus shared, "Tavian, it is those little moments of kindness, your choices to show love, that ripple out like ripples in calm water. Everyone touched by love becomes a bearer of that gift." A wave of gratitude washed over me as I reflected on the profound influence that simple gestures can wield. Yet there was another side to consider. I was taken back to an uncomfortable memory, an argument with a colleague. I wished I could erase that moment when our frustrations collided, leading to harsh words that spilled out uncontrollably. In that instant, I hadn't paused to think about the potential pain my words could inflict on others. These reflections taught me about the threads that connect our lives. Every choice we make, whether filled with kindness or bitterness, leaves its mark on the world surrounding us. Standing there, I began to truly comprehend the depth of our conversation's impact on him. Seelan seemed burdened, as if wrestling with questions about his own worth in the workplace. Jesus simply watched him, a picture of unwavering support. On a chilly November morning in Asheville, North Carolina, I found myself reflecting deeply. The atmosphere was charged with understanding, and although no words were exchanged, Seelan's eyes conveyed a warmth that felt devoid of judgment. It hit me. The essence of our existence isn't about casting judgment, but recognizing the weight of the responsibilities we share. In his calm and gentle manner, Kalen prompted me to see the value of our small acts and how significantly they can impact others, whether positively or negatively. "You're only human, Tavian," he reminded me. "Everyone fumbles from time to time. What matters most is how you address those slips. Let compassion steer your decisions and embrace the lessons life throws your way." His insights lingered in my mind. Life is this fascinating journey where growth comes from learning, and it's not about reaching a point of perfection. Rather, it's about being eager to improve and correct our faults. Amid this realization, I felt compelled to voice my concern. "How do I fix what I've done wrong?" I asked, still grappling with the significance of my thoughts. A warm smile spread across Seelan's face. He replied, "The first step is recognizing your responsibilities. The next is choosing to change. Every day gives you a fresh opportunity to cultivate kindness and create something better. Let your newfound awareness shine through your actions moving forward." With sincerity in his eyes, he opened my mind to the true essence of redemption. It's all about our ability to learn and alter our behavior. I understood then that returning to my everyday life shouldn't mean just going through the motions. Instead, I needed to focus on spreading kindness and harmony in every interaction. That moment marked a pivotal shift in my outlook. I realized the importance of carrying these valuable lessons with me in everything I said and did, striving to be a source of compassion for everyone around me. As the relevance of my choices sank in, a soothing calm wrapped around me. Yet, a question still stirred in my mind. Being in that sacred space with Seelan was not merely an opportunity for learning. It was also a rare chance to delve into questions that had lingered for ages. I welcomed the silence, gathered my courage, and finally asked the pressing question. Why do some people who come close to death see divine figures, while others might only encounter angels or nothing at all? Is there a purpose behind that? Kalen met my gaze with a gentle expression, inviting me to explore the depths of my curiosity. On a crisp November morning in Asheville, North Carolina, Tavian had a way of understanding that my uncertainties hinted at something more profound within me, a journey for meaning in the tapestry of life. His voice was like a gentle tune, striking a chord deep inside me. Each soul, he explained, follows its own unique path. Some folks need a little nudge to find their way back to their purpose, while others search for signs that reach beyond the physical world. He shared that what a soul experiences during a near-death moment often reflects its spiritual condition and needs. As I absorbed his insights, my thoughts began to swirl. I realized that for a long time I had clung to the idea that there was one universal truth, a single spiritual route everyone had to take. But in that instant, I felt a wave of understanding. It hit me that spirituality is deeply personal. Each person forges their own journey based on their life events and inner battles. I couldn't help but voice a question that had been on my mind. How do we discover our purpose? Tavian's smile radiated warmth and empathy. He shared that identifying one's purpose isn't an instant revelation, it's a gradual unfolding. When we listen closely to our hearts and instincts, we begin to uncover valuable insights. Many search outward for answers, but the truth is, they reside within us. It's through love, compassion, and the determination to embrace each moment that we chart our course. His explanation resonated profoundly with me. I realized it wasn't about narrowing in on one specific answer. It was about being open to understanding my authentic self and what motivates me. This journey is fluid, not bound by rigid doctrines. It shifts with each choice I make to live lovingly and with a thirst for knowledge. Curiosity nudged me to explore a topic that fascinated me. What about those who seem adrift, who can't seem to find their spark, or who endure pain that clouds everything? Tavian took a moment, closing his eyes as if weighing the depth of my question. When he answered, his voice was calm, but deeply insightful. No soul is ever truly lost, he reassured me. Life brims with chances to learn and grow, and even those who wander off course continue to gather lessons. Every journey is distinct, and sometimes pain serves as the catalyst for a deeper quest. We're never alone on this path. There's always unseen support and guidance around us. This newfound understanding enveloped me in a soothing sense of tranquility. Tavian was highlighting how compassion connects us all. He reminded me that even when life gets tough, there's always hope and a sense of togetherness waiting for us. Imagine finding yourself in a peaceful moment, feeling deeply linked to something bigger than yourself. That was when it dawned on me that every person has the opportunity for redemption and can return to the light if they're open to it. Jesus helped me see that spirituality isn't a one-size-fits-all guideline, it's a personal journey. It's not about strict rules imposed by others, but rather a unique path we carve out ourselves, guided by our daily choices, rooted in love and kindness. As I felt a sense of relief wash over me, it hit me that my life's purpose wasn't some hidden truth waiting to be unveiled. It's more about living each day with intention and being open to learning along the way. Standing next to Jesus in that moment, I realized that finding purpose is an ongoing process of self-discovery and personal growth. Each of us has an important role to play in the universe, shaped by our decisions and the love we share with others. With these thoughts swirling in my head, another topic nudged its way in: abortion. It's a heavy subject that brings a lot of confusion and varied opinions. I paused for a second, yet surrounded by that calm, I felt a pull to seek clarity. Jesus, I said, I want to understand the truth about life, its worth, its meaning. What can you share with me regarding abortion? Jesus responded with kindness, wrapping my question in a warm silence, as if he was giving me a moment to prepare for what would follow. When he finally spoke, his voice carried a soothing love and understanding that reached deep inside me. Salen, he replied, life is a cherished gift. Every soul that comes into this world has a purpose, a chance for growth. From the moment of conception, a journey begins, not just physically but spiritually as well. The very essence of life is sacred, and every joy, every sorrow, and every challenge plays a part in shaping our souls for something greater. His calming words led me to reflect profoundly on the miracle of being alive. I started to view every moment, each heartbeat, through a new lens. Deep down, I had always recognized the value of life, but hearing it articulated by Jesus brought me a clarity I had never experienced before. On a chilly November morning in Asheville, North Carolina, I found myself reflecting on a profound conversation about life's choices. Seelan shared his thoughts on a topic that often stirs deep emotions: abortion. At its essence, he pointed out, it's a deeply personal decision that affects the spirit in ways we may not always understand. The intricacies involved can be overwhelming, and it's a choice often burdened with pain. As we talked, it became clear that too frequently we fall into the trap of judgment. What we really need, however, is a good dose of compassion. Each situation we face is unique, and there are times when we all long for understanding rather than criticism. Discovering that Seelan wasn't there to judge harshly, but rather to shower us with love and respect for our complexities, brought a sense of relief. It was a comforting reminder that life is rife with uncertainties, and we all carry emotional weights, some of which we might not even fully understand ourselves. Curiosity got the better of me, so I gently probed about how certain decisions might affect one's journey in their soul. With a warm gaze, Kalen explained that while every choice we make comes with its own set of consequences, it doesn't mean our lives come to a standstill. He described how a soul that doesn't get the chance to enter the world doesn't simply disappear. Rather, it returns to the greater cycle of life, waiting for another opportunity. Those who navigate challenging decisions often find themselves on fertile ground for personal growth and learning. At the core of his message was the belief that love and compassion should guide us. He reassured me that redemption and healing are always possible. His words resonated deeply, opening my eyes to a universe brimming with unexpected kindness. Every soul is invaluable, and the potential for growth exists even in the most difficult contexts. Kalen continued to emphasize the need to cherish and support life in all its forms. He encouraged us to take responsibility in welcoming every new soul into our world. Each arrival presents a chance for learning, growth, and contributing to our common existence. He framed life as both a precious gift and a significant responsibility. This perspective helped me appreciate the sanctity of life more fully. Each unique soul carries its own purpose, and love plays a crucial role in the decisions we make along our journeys. Ultimately, it dawned on me that the focus shouldn't be on judgment or condemnation. It's about empathy, understanding, and honoring the richness of each person's experience. By the end of this profound discussion, I felt a deep respect for life itself and for the sacred nature woven into every moment we share. On a crisp November morning, I took a moment to appreciate the incredible gift of life. The journey we're on challenges us to fully embrace our existence, guiding us with love and a commitment to learn from everything we encounter. As I stood there, an extraordinary experience began to unfold. The light surrounding Seelan began to expand, drawing me in, inviting me to rise to a different level of understanding. It felt as though I was being led into a space where the very meaning of paradise was about to reveal itself. Suddenly, I was transported to an awe-inspiring landscape, one that was almost too beautiful to describe. Imagine stepping into a stunning valley embraced by majestic mountains, their soft green hues bringing the whole picture to life. Before me stretched a vast expanse of lush grass, like a peaceful, inviting carpet underfoot. In the distance, the sound of a crystal-clear waterfall provided a gentle, soothing backdrop. The air buzzed with a fragrant essence, a lovely mix of floral scents, intertwined with something almost celestial that I couldn't quite name. Joyful energy filled the atmosphere, pulsing all around me. Children dashed by, their laughter ringing out like cheerful music, spreading happiness that was impossible to resist. People of all ages exuded a sense of deep calm, as if their troubles had faded into the background. Here, time felt like a stretchable concept. Every second was a precious drop in a boundless moment of ecstasy. Meandering through this magnificent valley, a profound sense of tranquility enveloped me. It was as if the weights I had carried throughout my life simply evaporated. I felt vibrant and pure, a mingling of love and joy. Beside me stood Tavian, who took in our enchanting surroundings with a serene smile. He recognized the beauty of this vision, a powerful reminder of life's grandeur and our sacred purpose. "This is paradise, Kalen," he spoke, almost as if he was reading the whirlwind of thoughts racing in my mind. "Here, there's no pain or separation. Each spirit resonates in perfect harmony, bound together by love and peace." A swell of gratitude washed over me, and I couldn't help but beam as I soaked in the breathtaking beauty around us. "It's incredible," I whispered, not wanting to break the spell of tranquility that surrounded us. I had never thought such perfection could exist. Tavian nodded, his smile warm and reassuring. "This is the destiny for all souls, but for so many, the path is lined with lessons and experiences. It's a journey of growth where each soul learns to discover true love within themselves and embraces it." As Kalen motioned towards a group of spirits lost in deep meditation, I noticed they seemed to be absorbing some kind of profound universal insight. Watching them, I experienced a sense of wholeness that was a bit overwhelming. The bonds among those souls radiated an energy I hadn't seen before, something far beyond human understanding. In that moment, it became clear. The love they shared was the heartbeat of this extraordinary place, allowing every spirit present to resonate in perfect harmony with the universe. Tavian, who had been guiding me through this journey, encouraged me to keep exploring. We made our way toward an incredible sight, a city that hung in the sky, crafted from light and awe-inspiring forms. This enchanting place turned my ideas about architecture upside down. It felt so light, as if the very atmosphere cradled every structure delicately. "This is where souls who have finished their evolution reside," Tavian shared, his voice warm and inviting. "In this space they thrive in peace and togetherness, embodying love in its purest essence." As I gazed at that mesmerizing city, a wave of respect washed over me. My understanding of paradise shifted. It morphed from just a physical location into a profound state of being, a deep connection to love and kindness that makes us whole. Taking one last look at the valley and the radiant city high above, I felt an awareness that my time there was coming to an end. It struck me in that moment how fortunate I was to catch a glimpse of what awaits anyone willing to embrace the path of love and spiritual evolution. Then, with heartfelt sincerity, Tavian spoke again. "Hold on to this vision, Talon. Share it with those who seek peace. Remind them that love is the key to healing all pain, and that this place represents a future we can create together, step by step, through our compassionate choices." A warm glow enveloped my heart, spreading from Tavian and filling me with love. Deep inside, I knew this experience would be a lasting imprint on my memory. When I returned to the world outside, I would carry this image of peace and beauty, a guiding light not only for my own journey, but also to help others find their way. As that ideal vision and Tavian's parting words lingered in my mind, I felt a bittersweet combination of gratitude and longing unfold within me. While the serenity of that place was indescribable, I sensed a gentle pull drawing me back, something that felt, in a deep way, like home. As I started to return to reality, a heavy sadness washed over me. It was odd. I had just been in a place where everything felt perfect, filled with a kind of love that seems only possible in dreams. I could almost hear a soft voice whispering within me, reminding me of my purpose. "Kalen, your journey isn't over. Come back and share the light you've discovered with those who are still seeking it." But slowly, the bright light around me started to fade. I felt something weighing me down, pulling me back to my familiar surroundings. The lovely sensations I had experienced shifted to a chill that ran through my skin, a clear sign that I was back in the physical world. Each muscle in my body seemed to awaken as if they were coming back to life, each cell realizing the shift that was occurring. When I finally opened my eyes, the first thing that greeted me was a group of worried faces hovering over me. I found myself resting on a stretcher in an ambulance. One of the paramedics looked at me, an expression of surprise and relief crossing his face. "Hey, you're back," he said, sounding as if he had just let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. "For a moment, we weren't sure we'd be able to bring you back." I wanted to reply, but my voice felt so far away, almost as if I had just emerged from a fierce struggle. My body was heavy and exhausted. With each passing second, the warmth of that amazing place began to slip away, but in its absence, I found a deep, unshakable sense of peace in my heart. It felt like that love had become a part of me. As the ambulance bounced back onto the road, I shut my eyes again, allowing the vivid images of the landscapes illuminated by Jesus' presence to flood my memory. The valley, the city suspended in the air, all those moments were so clear, and the radiant energy of each soul lingered in my mind. I realized that even if I distanced myself from that otherworldly experience, I would never be the same person I once was. One of the medics noticed the emotions on my face and kindly asked, "Do you feel like sharing what you experienced?" I smiled back at him, searching for the right words to express the depth of my journey. I knew deep inside that what had happened was significant. It was something I would need time to fully understand. But one truth stood out. I had a responsibility to share what I had learned. As we rolled back into town, a wave of gratitude enveloped me, grounding me in that moment. It felt like I was truly alive, more than just existing. I had been granted a chance to view life from a different angle. A sense of purpose ignited within me, urging me to cherish each new day by spreading kindness and love around. I came to realize that paradise isn't some far-off fantasy. It's embedded in the small, everyday acts we choose to perform. When I checked into the hospital, as they were getting me settled into the recovery room, thoughts of Jesus' last words echoed in my head. Gratitude filled my heart for this unexpected second chance. I felt a commitment brewing inside me, a determination to shine light and compassion toward others. In that moment, I made myself a promise. No matter what challenges awaited me, I would hold on to the lessons I had learned. My focus from then on would center on the belief that love and compassion are the keys to real peace. And from that day forward, every action I took would embody this newfound dedication. As I healed, my days transformed into meaningful opportunities for introspection. Mornings felt invigorating, almost like the start of a brand new story, vibrating with the remnants of my profound journey that reshaped me. The world around me suddenly sparkled with renewed importance. The trees danced differently in the breeze, the sky radiated with a vividness I hadn't noticed before, and the warm smiles from strangers wove into the fabric of my life like golden threads. Every little detail was a gentle reminder of that blissful state of love I had experienced. One of the biggest shifts in my perspective was how I began to see others. Previously, I would rush by people, focus solely on my endless to-do list, dismissing moments that now felt vital. Now every person I encountered became valuable to me, an opportunity for genuine connection. I realized that the essence of life was hidden in these interactions, in those small, seemingly inconsequential exchanges of kindness. Then, out of the blue, I ran into a familiar face, an old friend I hadn't seen in a long time. As we caught up, he opened up about some challenges he was facing. Listening to his story, I felt an empathy growing within me that I hadn't experienced before. His struggles resonated deeply, and I remembered Jesus' teachings about compassion and acceptance without judgment. In that moment, I simply reached out and rested my hand on his shoulder, looking into his eyes to reassure him he wasn't alone. "We all have our battles," I told him. I could promise him that I would always be there, ready to offer my support whenever he needed it. When I think back on my journey, I often remember how an emotional smile and a simple wave of thanks from a stranger made me realize that I'd made an impact, even if it was just a tiny one. It was as if I was embracing a mission, one that involved sharing the love and insight life had gifted me over the years. My experiences with loss became a source of guidance, shaping my choices and showing me that our actions reflect back on the world around us. It felt like discovering a profound truth. The peace we yearn for externally must first flourish within us, and I felt motivated to extend that sense of calm to others. Back when my little boy was just a few years old, I was intent on cultivating an atmosphere rich in love and understanding for him. I believed it was vital to instill compassion in him through the simplest gestures. As time went on, I noticed curiosity grow in his eyes. He would often ask me about the changes he observed in me. Whenever he did, I explained that life offers us a series of unique lessons, nudging us towards gratitude and personal growth through each experience. With each passing year, This transformational journey laid the foundation for my spiritual path. I immersed myself in the study of ancient philosophies and sought out connections with others pursuing meaning in their lives. Joining spiritual support groups opened my eyes to the fact that I wasn't alone in this quest. Many others, too, were searching for love, connection, and peace. Looking back now, I feel a deep sense of appreciation for what once appeared to be an overwhelming and confusing phase of my life. The encounter I had with the divine, especially that surreal moment in paradise and my meeting with Christ, was more than just a fleeting experience. It served as a call to embrace life earnestly. The understanding that love is our highest purpose still resonates within me. Every year, on the anniversary of my awakening, the day I returned from the brink of death, I take a moment to reflect and express gratitude. This time allows me to reaffirm my dedication to the lessons I've gathered along the way. I strive to keep my heart open, knowing that every small gesture and choice, motivated by love, helps me stay true to the mission I sensed that day. This ongoing journey has deeply influenced my identity, and as long as I have breath, I will continue to embody the mission of being a source of light and kindness. I remind those around me that true paradise begins with the loving decisions we make, one moment at a time.